Well, we'll see how this works with a free with a free program. Okay, well, there it is. Can't find it. So we're gonna talk a little bit about information directly to your images, so that image is going to have data with it. So if it goes somewhere else, it still has some information. And we're gonna see. We're gonna hope this one. And this is why. Another reason I got started with cataloging and doing a lot of this for a variety of reasons. And one of them is because my wife, and my daughter are both do genealogy, and any of you who are involved with that know how all kinds of old pictures and this and that and the other, and you have no idea who's in those pictures. Somebody may have written a date on the back, so you have an idea when it was taken, but how often do they write down who was in all those pictures? So another reason, I thought if I had information in the pictures, then somewhere down the road, David and I have talked about this a lot. Maybe nobody will ever be interested, but if they are, they'll be able to look at that image and have an idea of when it was taken, who's in the picture, what was the occasion, why was this image taken. So these are some of the things that we might include if we're adding data to the image itself. Obviously, stating the obvious here. We talked about metadata. That's just a term that you might run across if you're ever reading anything. That's just the information that we're going to put with that image so that at a later date we can figure out what in the world that picture was all about. There are a couple of different kinds of information. Again, this is just sort of some background for you. There will not be a test, so you don't really need to remember all this. There's the EXIF, you may see that term used. Probably never see exchangeable image file format used. IPTC, and again you can see that was designed primarily for news services, but it's pretty much the standard as far as information goes. The EXIF is added by the camera. I don't know how many of you have seen all that information, but the camera stores a lot of data with the image. It will give you the date and time, assuming that your clock is right, and I hope everybody changed their camera clocks this weekend. Assuming that the camera clock is set correctly, you will know the date and time that image was taken. It will also give you a lot of information about the camera itself, what the camera was, the model, the orientation, shutter speed, the focal length of the lens, those sorts of things. That's all part of the information. You don't add any of that. The camera puts that in there. The IPTC data is what is added by the user, and that's what describes the image content. And we'll actually be looking at a screen similar to this later, but here is an example of some of the kinds of information that you can add to that image. You can see there's a caption, and again, remember this was designed primarily for the news media, for the wire services and so forth. So there are a lot of fields that the individual probably wouldn't use, but there are certainly a lot of them that are usable. You have the caption, who wrote the caption, the headline, keywords. That's if you get into cataloging later, we're going to talk about that. Keywords is vital. That's the critical part of cataloging. You can see a lot of the other things, where the picture was taken, city, location, state, so forth, who took it. You can put in the caption in the headline somewhere there. If you had 5 people in that image, there's 2 places. If I had 5 people in the image, there's one place I would definitely put all those people. That's under keywords. I would have each one of those names under keywords. But that doesn't help me identify them in the image. So I might have under captions, left to right, front row, something like that, with those names also. The keywords that will help me find the images later, but again, it doesn't tell me which person has that name. So you might want to put that in a caption. But that's the kind of information that you can add. There are actually a lot more fields than this that you can use. But that's the basic kinds of information that goes in. To add the IPTC data, IrfanView, is IrfanView still around? Because I haven't used it for a long time.
It's been added to
It's been around, forever, I think. IrfanView is a free program that will allow you to access those fields, and it works with JPEGs, it works with TIFFs, it works with just about any image format that's out there. And it's free. The program is free, so you can add information to your images with IrfanView. Nikon View NX, which we just saw earlier, that comes with Nikon cameras. Actually, you can download it from their website free. It works with Nikon RAW files, but it also works with TIFF and JPEG. PaintShop Pro, a lot of the people in the digital imaging group have PaintShop Pro. It's pay, but let you add the data to the images. Click to exit. So those are some of the programs that you can use to add data to the image itself. Now, if you don't have, IrfanView will allow you to read that also. Any of these programs that add the information will allow you to read it. But, let's go back over here. Something that I don't know if you knew or not. This image highlighted. Let's look down here. Guess what? Even within Windows, I can read the tags that are on. They call them tags. You'll see tags, you'll see labels, you'll see keywords, you'll see a lot of terms used for the same thing. But Windows itself can read those. This is activities, hobbies, computers, people, David Clement, and people, John Kennedy. Everybody see that's right at the bottom, very bottom of the screen. Yeah.
I can see it, but how did it get in there? Did Ron type that?
Ron typed that in.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I wanted to show you was Windows, again, if you use IrfanView to put it in there, if you use any of those other applications, you can still see it with just Windows.
Okay.
You don't know the program. But obviously, if you have IrfanView to put it in, you can use that to read it. David, what's the other one that we use a lot in digital imaging? The viewer.
Gee, I forget.
Anyway, it's another free viewer, and that will show you. It will show you some of the EXIF information as well as the information that
Fastone.
Fastone. That's a freebie also, and that will show you this, and it will show you some of the EXIF information also. So we're up to the point now that we have an idea of how we can structure our folders. We have an some ideas for adding information to the images themselves, so that somewhere down the road, somebody can at least look at that image and get some basic information. I know that those people, the people in that picture are David Clement and John Kennedy. So we're still not at the point where we have a quick system for these images, but we do have some information now available for each one of our images. It does up front. You'd be surprised, it doesn't take as much as you think it might. It can really go pretty fast. What we're going to do now, I hope, is, we're going to look at, this is a commercial program. It's available. It was discontinued very suddenly. It's called ID Imager. It's been replaced by ID Imager Photo Supreme, which is also on here. We can take a look at that a little bit later if you want to. And the software I'm using is not that critical. If you decide to get some sort of, this is cataloging software. If you decide to get some sort of cataloging software, then obviously very different from what we're using today. Probably going to have similar commands and do things in a similar way, but not exactly. What we're going to do is go up here and go to import. We want to bring the images, our cataloging software. And if I have done this right, let's look at those pictures that we put in our subject or by activity folder, and we're going to import those. And David uses this software, and he knows that sometimes it can be quirky, so we're going to hope. Well, David, it didn't import them. How about sub-fours? Now, let's try that. Look at our progress over here. It's bringing, what do we have, 8 images, 9 images, something like that in here.
Did it actually move those pictures around when you said import?
No.
Okay.
What cataloging software does is, with some of it, you can move those images around. It will find the images. Well, you have to point it to the images. Let it know where those images are. It brings in the information from those images, but it does not move them. Now, why? Okay, David, tell me. Why do I?
Oh, see your catalog.
There we are. There we are. It leaves the images where they are on your hard drive. If you have one copy of the image, it only has one copy, but you can have as many tags on that image as you want. So we brought in, these are the images that we just brought in, you saw earlier. You can see this number up here. This is for this particular software. The number 4 tells me there are 4 catalog labels for that particular image. Now here, there's our recent. Let's turn that off. Back up here. If we go to, let's see, what do we want to do here? We want to go to, under people, we have an image of Gina. We should have 4 images of David Clement. Now notice, especially these 2 down here, also are going to show up under John Kennedy, because John's in this pictures also, or they should.
So how did it find it? I don't see the name, and I don't, is it the date?
It found it because
the subject, or?
If you look over here, that we're looking at the image data. Here, under keywords, we have people, John Kennedy. The keywords were already added. I cheated. I added those earlier.
Oh, I didn't see.
This was one of our Thursday morning coffee and computer session. if we go down here,
Now, each time you put like John Kennedy down, you have to put Kennedy underscore John.
I use the underscore because it doesn't confuse computers. A comma sometimes is read as something else by different operating systems, and if you use, what is it, the standard alphabet, the numbers, the hyphen, underscore, you're usually pretty safe. Yeah, Ken?
Once you create a tag like Kennedy and Bar John, that tag probably shows up somewhere. You can just
Yes. Yeah. I guess getting back to your question, no, I don't have to enter that every time. If I want to,
Because all I see on that date, so I was just trying to figure out where it found.
this only displays the date here, but here's a choice. John Kennedy. Now, if I want to add Dave Clement to that up here, if I just start typing, it should. There's people David Clement. I've just added David Clement. This little box tells me I need to synchronize that image with the database name. So no, you don't have to type it in. Once you have a list of keywords, you don't need to type the whole thing in every time. Now, if I want to take that off, I can uncheck it. And now we're back. And again, that's the way this particular application adds
I'll be
keywords.
quiet if you tell me I'm asking too many
No.
questions.
That's where you are.
Is this, does it put all the pictures of Dave Clement or just one picture of him?
Well, it's going to put any pictures that I have imported into the database that have Dave Clement's name on it.
What if I just wanted the one with the airplane though?
Oh, I'm glad you did ask that, because we'll go over here, because that was the next thing we're going to do. Yeah, this gives me all Dave Clement's pictures, but let's look at this. This is Dave Clement and John Kennedy. I don't want Dave Clement and John Kennedy. I only want Dave Clement.
Okay.
So up here, in this little checkbox over here, we're going to put a green check mark. And we're going to go down here, and we're going to put a red check mark next to John Kennedy. So this is going to give me anything that includes David Clement, but anything that includes John Kennedy is going to be excluded. So we go up here, a little green arrow, click that, and now John's gone.
Aw.
Now, if I only want the airplane, we can get rid of that check mark. We can do hobbies, radio controlled flying. We'll check radio controlled flying and David Clement. Now we have David Clement and radio controlled flying. So by combining these, we can include and exclude, and we can narrow our selections. Now, if I had more pictures of people flying model airplanes, and I unchecked this and just checked this, I would get flies model airplanes. So that's where the power lies in the cataloging applications. These are not the only possibilities. We've got all kinds of possibilities. We've got time. When were these taken? We have file types. All right, these all happen to be JPEGs. We can look at headlines. Who wrote it? We can look at the camera. What kind of camera was it?
Ron, does this one allow you to use GPS data also?
Yeah, this does.
If you've entered it into...
And I think
I just had another thought.
Mm-hmm. I think I have it on this image. If I can remember how to do it. Yeah. Go ahead, Mary Frances.
What if you're at this point and there's a group picture on there and it has John and Dave and Kenny Bixler.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have Kenny Bixler already.
I don't.
In your list, so now what
Okay.
happens if we
Well,
want to see him?
Let's go over here.
Who wants to see Ken Bixler?
We've
Well,
got
then leave for crying out loud. I forgot.
we have this
The movie
image.
star
Hey, he
back.
let everyone in this morning. Come on.
And he made coffee.
Let the
made coffee.
movie
Yes.
star in.
So
It's
we'll
But
go
you
up
spilled
here.
me. My turn is next.
Remind me Thursday instead of not across from me.
Assigned catalog labels.
Well, he's not there.
That information, Mary Frances, would have to be added.
So
That keyword would have to be added at some point in time for you to be able
So-
to find it within.
so we can. All right, Dave. Where is it? I'm going to add the label.
I thought I saw it there.
Let's see.
Label
Do the
set.
down to the side. I thought it said add. Okay, add catalog label. Down there at the bottom.
All catalog labels.
People.
And then go to people. But he doesn't have a picture of Ken in there at all.
Okay.
All right. I need a copy and paste. I should be able to do it on the fly, and now why I can't.
So you have to add a new catalog.
Anyway, all right. Let me go over here. I know how to do it over here. I can go to people. I will right-click on people. I will say new item, and that the parent is going to be people. The new item is going to be Ken. I can do all kinds of things here if I want to. Okay, so now I do have Ken Bixler. Oh, another way I can do this. Let's go back here. If I have the list over here, I can. Ken, you're going to be in a couple pictures here.
Cool.
I can just drag these over to Ken Bixler also.
But you're not near as handsome as I.
So I can do it that way, as well as typing it in. So you can drop and drag and do anything. Again, the important thing here is just to see what a catalog program will do, not necessarily how ID Imager works. This is peculiar to ID Imager. It's not not necessarily how all catalog programs will work. But once you get it in there, you can mix and match and do all kinds of things. And what they have down here, portfolios and groups, I can put in all kinds of search criteria. I can save that. If I want pictures of John Kennedy and David Clement, if I want pictures of John Kennedy and Dave Clement at Dave Clement's house, I can put all three of those terms in. I can save that search, and then I can go back to that. I can get those images every time. I can create what they call they call it baskets or virtual virtual folders. I can do a search, and it will save all those images in that search into a virtual basket. Again, I'm not copying the images. I'm not moving the images. I'm not doing anything with them. I can, once I get those, if I wanted to put, I wanted to upload pictures of Dave to a website. Well, first of all, I'm going to make them smaller and do some things. I'll select them first. Then I can copy those into some editing program, reduce the size, upload them to a website, and make copies of them rather than working on the originals also. But once you get them in here, you can just do all sorts of things with them. Dave had.
Can you Like, okay, you look for Dave Clement, can you break it down? Let's say you got 10 million pictures of Dave Clement, which I know you do not. But if you did, and I wanted to break it down to a specific date.
Yeah, I can do Dave Clement up here. Then I can go down here and look at the dates. And I could go to a very specific date. I can go to, I can go to April 23rd. Or I can go, if I check here, I'll get anything that was taken of David Clement in 2010. If I go here, I will get anything that was taken of David Clement in April of 2010. If I go down here, then the only thing I'll get are David Clement pictures taken on April the 23rd. So it's as general or specific as you want. You can start with the whole year, and then you can start narrowing it down. Yeah, and I understand that because I have, David has, what, 40,000 images right now that he's trying to catalog. You can imagine what a job that is. I have about 22,000 catalogs, and it's not hard to keep up. It's just hard to get all those old images.
It's best to do it as you take them.
Yeah.
Rather than wait.
Yeah.
The dates are automatically, you don't have to enter the dates, do you?
If your camera clock is set correctly, as I said, that is stored with the image. You do not have to enter that, and these programs will read that. Yeah, what I would like to do is take a break, and I need to plug in a card reader. I took a few pictures this morning when I got here. Please do not pay attention to the content because I just wanted to have some pictures. And hopefully very quickly we'll go through kind of start to finish. I have the card in my camera right now. We'll take the images from that card into the computer. We'll put some tags on them, and we'll read them into the catalog. And you can see what I do. And again, this is using some paid software. I hate to say that word, but you can see what I do and really how easy it is to put those tags on. It's not as hard as you might imagine. So if we want to take a little bit of a break, and then I'll get my reader out.
Those of you that have never been,
We'll hope we have some images here to work with.
into the doll, digital sig.
I made a fresh
Okay.
pot of coffee, so if anybody's
Oh.
interested. It's perking now.
Oh, perking now.
Yeah.
Got me
Are
excited.
we to get into this?
No, you don't need to get into anything yet.
Okay.
In about an hour, we're going to get on to the PC, so at that time you can log in to the digital image sig under doll, and the password is doll, D-O-L-L. I'll tell you that later.
And we want a captive audience for this presentation.
Because at one place, that's one of the 6,
Mm-hmm.
so we take that out, the DVD, and I still have one thing. Okay.
What program is this?
This
or-
morning,
This is photo mechanic.
because otherwise I didn't have a whole.
Hmm.
You see, the other, it had 2 CDs in it. And two.
Oh,
And I
before we do that.
that one of them we take out. We took the one out, it was just a year,
Hmm.
and got property in it.
Hmm. Oh.
Because the property he had was not fitting in the proper hole.
Hmm.
It's one of those curved ones that exactly what it had.
Yeah.
But he took the top one out, the way around, he got my,
Hmm.
there. And I'm not gonna do that
Okay, one other thing, and then we're going to go through the whole process. I was going to show you the way I have set things up. And again, this is what works for me. This is just a piece of what I have on my hard drive at home. I have the Pix Mine. I have some folders here that are sort of working. All of them are kind of working folders. And you notice I put numbers in front of them, and I put numbers in front of them, so they sort the same way every time. They sort in this order. But then under this is what I was talking about before. I have folder starting with original 01, and under that I have specific shoots. And somebody asked about, Mary Frances, you asked about dates and using text, and I've added some text here. This folder is roughly the size of a DVD, the original 35. I keep adding to it until I'm up to DVD size, then I'll burn myself a DVD. So I have my desktop, I have my external drive, and I have a DVD of these.
Is there a place that keeps control of how many bits or whatever it is?
I use a program here that's, again, free, called folder size, and that tells me there are 2.92 gigabytes in that particular folder. Yeah, Mary Frances?
You just hover over it. It should
After
also
I,
tell you how much is in
You
it.
just hover over it? Okay.
after I manipulate a photo, edit, change, whatever, after I...
That's where we're going next. I anticipated your question.
It lost my
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
My original information went bye-bye when I manipulated.
Depends on the program you use to, yeah.
Found that out.
Yeah. So that wasn't where we were going next. Yeah, some of the information that's stored in that image will be lost with some editing programs. And that depends on. But these are my original pictures here. I shoot RAW. That's why I have a NEF extension. We don't even need to get into that. But when I work on one of these, then I create a subfolder.
Okay,
So I don't touch, my original is still my original.
exactly.
I have not edited the original. I didn't change it. These are images that were created from originals that are up here. So
Always work on a copy.
yes. So I put some subfolders in here. I don't know if we have any car enthusiasts in the group or not, but this is one of the strangest Porsches that I have ever seen.
Yeah.
You notice it is a tractor, a 1959 tractor. It has a Porsche diesel engine. But then I will create a subfolder under the original. So I'm keeping them sort of together, anything that I create. These are JPEGs. They're smaller because they were uploaded to the web and some other things. But that's basically the way that I do it, and they're in chronological order. That doesn't matter because I use a cataloging program so I can find it wherever it is. Okay, now, what I said before. Now, we're in a different program. This program is called Photo Mechanic. Again, this is a purchased program. It's a viewer, importer, labeler. It's very fast to do a variety of things. Okay, I don't know how most of you do it. I use a card reader to get my images from the flash card out of my camera into the computer. It's just a lot faster, and I find it a lot more convenient than plugging in the camera. So that flash card is from that camera, and some pictures that were taken today. And as I said, please ignore the pictures. And again, the specific steps that I take here aren't critical. It's just seeing the idea. I am going to the ingest screen. You see ingest, culling, some of the terms that are used. Where do I want to get my images? I'm going to get them from here. I can do incrementals. We're not even going to worry about any of that. I'm going to create a folder. This is a variable. I'm going to create a folder with the date the images were taken. And we'll go ahead and we'll even put recenter on that folder. And I'm going to import those images into my from camera directory. That's where I take everything first. I work on it, then a subfolder. I do my sorting and deleting and things like that here. You notice this has a secondary destination. At home, ordinarily, my secondary destination would be my external drive. So when I copy these images from that card to the hard drive in my computer, I'm also copying them to an external drive. So when I finish this import process, I have 3 copies of that image. I still have them on the card, I have them on my hard drive, I have them on an external drive. So we don't have an external drive, so we'll skip that here. Now, let's think about this. I was talking about labeling, and it can be very fast or it can be very slow. The images that we're going to import, do they have anything in common? Yes, they do. I took all of them here this morning. So the location, they were all taken in the same place. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the stationary pad, and we are going to go down here. I'm going to open the stationary pad. Here's the information. We showed you that screen a little bit earlier. Now, I cheated again. I set this up beforehand. You can save this information also. I have a variety of templates already saved. One is very basic. It puts my name in and some other things, but I have some that are very specific. I'm going down here, and again, this is specific to the software, so it's not that critical. This little lightning bolt, you see I have recenter saved. I'm going to click on that. Boom. These were taken for the photo organization class. The keywords, I have organizations, LCCS, I have places, the recenter. If you look at that supplemental category, these are some things that I added. This will read that EXIF data that I was talking about. It'll tell me what camera it was taken with and the f-stop and so forth. Up here at the top, Newark, Ohio, it's 123 South 3rd Street, and so forth. So I saved all of that, and so all I had to do was click on that, and there it is. Yeah.
It seems like they're not asking questions, so it seems like I'm the only one that doesn't understand. When you said, I just made this template, and I just have this that I saved, and this, and I did this in advance, and here it is. And I'm thinking, my mind just spazzed out.
Again, this is specific. Okay, this is specific to this. I brought up this screen.
From where?
This application.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
It's the stationary pad. You see down there at the bottom?
That's what you're trying to get through my head. All right.
And I can fill it. I can go through this now manually and fill it in.
Fine. For just a moment, when you said that, I must not have been listening clearly, because I thought you were now showing me a template that you had invented.
Nope.
I take my question back. I'll shut
That's
up
okay.
again.
Now, because I did save this already, I can go down here, and it plugs all that information in. So I don't have to do that. Now, if I ever shoot anything here again, I can do the same thing. I could just go in and click that. Let me clear this. I have one. If I take pictures at home, places where you shoot a lot. Okay, this is our address, and this is and this is, again, this is me. Location to me up here is an address, and a place is like this. So when I put in Reese, the location is 123 South 3rd Street, but the place is Reese Center. So that filled in all of that. We're going to leave that in there. We're going to close that. And I have this checked. You see, apply IP stationary Pad to photos. Other options here, but we don't really need to get into those. Now I know why these thumbnails look so big. The screen resolution is different. Okay, it brought those in.
Yeah, it's set up great.
Yeah, I'm gonna reduce this a little bit. I just like to save the pictures. Now, first thing I do, and again, this is software specific. I can do this a couple of ways. I'll preview this. I look at that. I'm set up. I mark them to keep, to delete, or maybes. Those are ones I go back and look at. I'm set up so that, okay, I hit the 1 key. We'll go back and we'll look at labels. I keep that. That one's pretty bad. Let's get rid of that one. That one's okay. That's kind of... We'll put that in the maybe category. We'll save that one, and we'll save that one. All right? We're going through those. You see they have labels. And again, me. Green ones, go. I keep those. Red ones, stop. I toss those. Yellow, those are maybes. Okay. I could have deleted this on the fly, but I generally do it this way. Now, I will go down here at the bottom, again, specific to this application. Hold Shift, click on the red. The only thing I see is the red. This deletes. So if I want a second shot at it, and it puts them in the recycle bin anyway, I can look at them and say, yeah, I definitely want to delete those. Control A, just like Windows. Delete key. Wherever the delete key is on here. Are you sure? Yep, it's gone. All right. Now I want to look at all of them again. I'll go back to this one, the yellow one. That's not so hot. I think we'll go ahead and delete that. I hit the delete key directly from there. So now we have the 4 images. Keep. You see all that information that we added is already there. And it read this information from the flash card. Tells me it was shot with a Nikon 50 and so forth and so on. Okay, Reese, we don't really want to need to add anything to that one. I'm going over here to this little arrow down here. Okay, we have Ken and we have Rich in that one. So we're going to go here. Go to our structured keywords, and we're going to go to people. And we don't have Ken and Rich over here. So let's go ahead. We will create a sibling.
What did it say? Create a sibling?
A sibling. That means it's going to put it in the same at the same level. And we want to create another
so
one.
Parent folder is probably called people.
We could have a child. That would create another level down from this. A synonym, so we could use multiple words for the same thing. A sibling puts it right in here. We're going to create
It's
it.
going to be specific to each application.
I think
Again.
I'm going to raise my hand. I'm getting a little confused.
This is what I was saying. This is specific to this application.
Okay.
So it's the idea that
Okay, I understand.
that you really
Go
need.
on.
We're going to put keywords with it. That's the idea. Okay, so we had Ken.
All the
Actually, let's back out of this. Let's go back here. We have Ken in this one, and we have Ken in this one. So we're going to check this little box, plus. That means it's going to add to this rather than replace. We're going to go over here. We're going to look under people. Ken Bixler. We're going to add that, and we're going to OK that and apply it. So now, Ken's name has been added here, and Ken's name has been added here. All right, we don't need this one any. We're finished with this one. We're finished with the last one. We want to put Rich Allen's name on those two.
Did it take both of them? I didn't see both of them highlight.
Both green.
Okay.
Okay. So in this case, we want to go to oh, oh. And we want to add Rich. Those and okay. And apply. And now, if we look at this, this is just recenter. This one, recenter places, all that good stuff. And it has Ken Bixler, and it has Rich Allen. Somehow we got recenter twice. That had, okay.
It's the process here that's really
It's
important part, more than the steps.
yeah, the steps aren't important. It's just that we are adding the catalog information. Now,
Confused me a minute ago. You highlighted them, and then you went down and clicked on cancel before you went to the other.
I was just showing you that what was included
All right.
on those. Okay, we'll select all of them. And we'll right click. Actually, we could do Control M. What I usually do, this is just, again, we'll call it this. I have the date, I have recenter, and we'll have a sequence number. I want to reset that sequence number. On this particular application, I can hold Shift, click it, it goes to 1. Okay, so now we've renamed them with the date, recenter, and a sequence number. I use this to tag the images. It's just, to me, it's a lot quicker than trying to use ID Imager to put the tags on.
But to catalog them though, then you'd have to go into ID.
Then you need a cataloging program. And Photo Mechanic is not a cataloging program. It is strictly a viewer.
So it's adding the keywords and tags, but not.
Correct.
So that's all done then prior to entering
Yeah.
into ID Imager.
Right. Now we're going to go over here. Remember?
May I ask how much that program is?
I think Photo Mechanic is around 150. And if you use a lot of images, it's worth it. If you don't do a lot of images, it probably isn't. You find that the bulk of the sports shooters at a high level use it because of the speed and the speed that they need. Okay, we're going to, you notice it's from camera. We're going over here. We're going to import it. Windows. Now we have Rich Allen in 2 pictures. We have we have him in 5 because we added his name a while ago when we were playing around. So we can correct that. We'll pick those 2. You notice Ken Bixler's name is on those 2, and we don't really want it, so we'll uncheck that.
You got that right. No.
Good.
You're going to have to get more pictures of Lee. He's really getting mad.
So,
I think he's feeling knocked down.
Yes.
oh, we
I'll get a
got
couple
somehow we got
of
Ken's name on that one too. Okay. And that's it. They are cataloged. Now, what I would do...
Excuse me a second. The catalog labels,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
No. What I would do is move those from camera down to original 37 or 38 or wherever. Yeah.
The catalog labels, you go over and it's got that orange dot.
Uh-huh.
So those recognize what the pictures you got, is that right?
If it has an orange dot, it means it has subfolders.
information?
No, it means it has subfolders. You notice people has subcategories under it. That's what the orange dot means in this case.
Oh,
12,
okay.
12 is the number of images that are in people. But that again, that's
Would you say again, at this point, would you say again how you put it over into your image 35 or whatever it was? You said when you wanted to put it over where your discs are.
oh yeah.
How do you do that?
Just go up here. And I don't have to do it in here. I will.
Just pretend.
This is just like Windows right here.
Okay.
It's from camera. I work on them there, and that's where I delete and mess around with them.
Yep.
Put everything in. Once that I'm finished with them there, I'll just drag it down here,
Oh, okay.
and now it's down here.
Okay.
And Dave and I were talking about that. Do I have to resynchronize them when you do that? Because Dave was doing that last night. No, I guess not.
No, didn't.
And if you do it within the cataloging program, it keeps track of that move. If you do it outside this cataloging program, the database for this program doesn't know you moved it. So you have to do a relocate, and there's some things. You can deal with it, but it's best if you have a cataloging program like this to do everything in that as far as moving is concerned, because that way it can keep track of the moves. Because the database, again, you're not moving the images at all. You're not putting, you can have them on 5 drives. But the database that goes with this cataloging program has to know where those pictures are. When you read them in the first time, it stores that information. So if I want to go to this image, I can open with Windows, and it will take me to that folder. You can do a lot of things, but if you move that image outside of this cataloging program, then the database for the catalog is now out of sync.
Oh, really? Okay. Ooh,
But by doing it the way we did over
I just thought
here.
of something else, though.
Mhm.
I swear I'll stop asking
No,
questions
no.
if you tell me to. Okay, pretend like that Recenter 2012 11/7, the
Mhm.
one you pretend like you said to yourself, oh, I want to get that on a thumb drive and take that tonight to my
Okay.
card club. So there.
Well, you can copy the folder,
Okay.
and then I can put it wherever I want.
If you had a thumb drive.
If I had a thumb drive.
Okay, but okay, then what are you going to do right now? Just stick it in your My Documents or something?
Well, let's see. Actually, we need to go up.
Pick a folder, thumb drive.
Oh, make a folder named Thumb Drive?
Well, this is like the tree on Windows. If he had a thumb drive in there, it would have shown up
You wish I
as a source.
But I was
for
just
pictures
wondering
to
how
be
you
stored.
take it from there and put it somewhere else. So just put it on the desktop, I guess. Right?
Put the screen and drag it over.
Okay, let's go down here. And there it is on the desktop.
Thank
copy.
you. Thank you.
This is because I have the setting wrong and it's running sidecars, and don't worry about those.
Oh, well,
But this is a copy. I said copy.
just a copy.
I could cut and paste if I want to get rid of it, but now I have a copy of that folder over there. The other thing I could have done is I could have gone to that folder Now I'm buried way down here.
I was just making something difficult out
No.
of something simple.
I could go to that folder, and I could right click on that folder, and I could create a new folder. I could go here, right, your windows. There are just all kinds of things you could do.
All right.
And that's just a copy, of those files. Okay. We've kind of beat that to death. I was going to show you one other thing, and then let Rich get up here. Oh, maybe I hit the. I probably hit the wrong one here. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Too many icons. They look alike.
I have all my photographs on 5 different hard drives. Don't put them on just one, because you could lose the hard drive for a failure, and that would be all your photographs gone forever.
Now Rich is going to show you another free application. This is a free cataloging program. I just ran across. It's free for individual use. It's really designed for an agency and for server use. And if on a server, it's like $300 per seat, something like that. But it is it's free for use. And these are some of the categories that it sets up automatically. And if you are curious about the EXIF data and some of the other things, these are all a whole bunch of different things that this program will keep track of as far as information. This is what we've been talking about is commonly called digital asset management, or DAM. This program, this Damian thing, is really more of a digital asset manager. It will let you catalog video. It will let you catalog audio, as well as digital images. It writes sidecar files and does some other things. So it truly does deal with more of the broad digital assets, as a business would call it. Okay.
As a beginner in this digital imaging thing, what would be the best program for me to use? Easiest one.
I got my pen out. Please answer.
I guess you just have to sit down and ask yourself, how will I use this in these pictures? Will I want to look them up later? It's really, John Kennedy knows my standard answer is it depends. And it really does. It really depends on the time you want to put in. It does take a little bit of time up front, but it depends on how you want to retrieve those pictures. If you've got 100 or even 200, you can zip through those pretty fast. It's when you get up to the 1,000 or the 40,000 that Dave has, then suddenly you just can't sit there and go through every image to find the one you want. So
I don't plan ever to have 40,000. I'll be lucky to get 40.
If you're just going to have, I would either go with the things that we talked about, one of those formats that we talked about right at the beginning, either by subject, create folders by subject, or folders by date. I guess my preference would be by date, because those are more fixed. And then if you know about when an image was taken, you can go back to those and look through them manually. I mean, you're going to have to select the images manually.
I understand that part, I just.
But
wondered
that's
what
probably
program I need to
that's
use.
probably the simplest way, and you don't need anything but the operating system to do that. But it's when you start getting up to, even the hundreds that it starts getting a lot more time
I
consuming.
mean, I can go home
to
and
go.
turn on my computer and do.
Yes, yeah. Just create those folders. Yeah, just create them by date and move your images in there by date if you want it, or subject. If you saw my folders, like original 1 and original 2 and those things, you want to start switching over? Or do you need, that's the way they're set up. They were by event, kind of event or what was going on. But then when I went into the catalog, I didn't need to do it. Yeah, I have to.